We've all been there. You've just had a long day and you need to unwind a little bit. Instead of that glass of wine or Netflix, how about 30 minutes of a slow, juicy Yin Yoga session to help stretch out those tense muscles, helping you relax both physically and mentally. Especially helpful after working from home or sitting at a desk for way too long. And hey, if you want to also have that glass of wine and watch Netflix while we practice, there's no judgment. Hi, I'm Jaime Tan at Enlightened Spoon, feeding your mind, body, soul. On this channel, we give you the tips and tools to help you find a little more balance in your overachiever life. If you're into it, hit like and subscribe for more videos to help you stress less yet accomplish more. We don't need props today, but if you have blocks or a blanket, grab them and anything else you might need. Actually, grab your yoga mat and let's get started. Let's come to a comfortable seated position, knees wide apart, big toes touching. On the next inhale, let's rise the arms up, give yourself a nice big stretch, and as you exhale, draw the elbows down, squeeze shoulder blades together, mini back bend. Inhale, arms up, and as you exhale, let's come down to child's pose, drawing the tailbone down towards the heels. Big deep exhale, release everything that doesn't serve you, let everything go. Big deep inhale through the belly, big deep exhale through the belly, swaying the hips from side to side, getting a gentle movement through the hips and the side bodies, and just allow yourself to ground and give yourself a few moments to land here on your mat. Exhaling, releasing all of that stress from your day today away. Setting the intention to take this time for you. On the next inhale, walk the hands over to the right side of your mat. Give yourself a nice stretch on the left side torso. And continue with the big deep inhale through the belly and releasing through the belly. This lateral side stretch is working the spine in an opposite direction than you would have if you've been sitting on a desk all day. Continue to release all of that stress from your day away as you exhale. Inhale back to center and then walk the hands over to the left side of the mat, this time stretching out that right side torso. Continue with the big deep belly breaths. Releasing all the negativity and all of the stress from your day away as you exhale. Inhale, crawling the hands back to center. Coming back to child's pose. Now let's come onto our bellies. Let's do a few spinal waves. As you exhale, draw the hips back to child's pose one more time. Exhale, rounding the spine, coming into a gentle cobra, coming down onto the mat. Stay low, draw the hips back towards the heels, spinal waves. As you exhale, round the spine, slowly feeling that spinal S-shaped movement, coming into an upward dog. A few breaths while you're here, really getting into all of those tight sections in the body and then coming back down, drawing the hips back to the heels. Moving in the opposite direction, heart moves forward and up, and then rounding the spine, coming down to draw the hips down to the heels, scooping the heart forward, staying low, inhale, and exhale, drawing the tailbone back down again. Now coming back onto all fours, shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees, and as you exhale, let's round the spine, coming into cat-cow. Inhale, arching the spine. Exhale, rounding the spine, sucking the belly in, and then making circles with the hips in one direction. Inhale, arching the spine, and as you exhale, rounding the spine. Moving the hips over to the left side this time. Getting some movement in the side torso and in the hips from side to side. Coming back down to a seated position and take a few moments to feel into all of the sensations within the body that the last few movements might have opened up. Continue with the big deep belly breaths. Now let's come onto a seated position, moving into butterfly, bringing the soles of the feet together, knees in a loose diamond shape, and if you have a block, you might like to place it under the forehead or a rolled up blanket underneath the forehead. Now very slowly round the spine and allow the shoulders to fold over the spine and dangle here. Even if you're not using any props today, it's nice to feel the head heavy, hanging low, allowing the shoulders to fold and roll over the spine, allowing the entire back body to open up. Feeling into the sensations within the hips as well. Once again, just very gently allowing the body to take you where it wants you to go. There's no need to push, there's no need to force. Simply feeling into the sensations within the body and feeling where the body wants you to go today. If you're ready to take it a little deeper, you might like to remove the block away from you. But simply laying here and resting with deep belly breaths on the inhale, deep belly breaths on the exhale. With time and gravity, the body takes us a little deeper into where it wants us to go. So surrender to this very moment. Listen to where the bodily sensations feel like they want to bring you today. Noticing as you start to move through the discomfort of this pose, where in the body might you still be feeling a little bit of tension. And what can you do to let go of that tension just a little bit more? Whether that's using your exhale to soften into that tension, or whether it's simply using intention to soften the muscles around any of those tense areas. And while you're softening into this pose, notice where you might be hanging on to tension anywhere else within the body. In the face, the jaw, the elbows, the hips. Noticing where you can soften and let go within the body just a little bit more. And as you soften into these tight sensations, notice what is arising in the mind and in the body. Even through this discomfort, notice where there might still be a sense of ease within the body and in the mind. At any point you start to feel your thoughts wander away from the physical sensations, bring your attention back to the breath one more time. And just soften through each exhale. Letting go with every exhale. Notice where you might be feeling any discomfort, and sense into how you might make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable, even through this discomfort. Whether that's physically adjusting yourself, mentally softening into the muscles around the discomfort, or using your breath to deepen through the exhales. Two more deep breaths here. Now very slowly, gently walk the hands back up. Now these transitionary moments are just as important as the pose itself. You want to be very gentle with the body as you come back up, feeling into all of the sensations within the body. Now straighten the legs out and give yourself a nice shake if that feels good. Coming into windshield wipers, soles of the feet on the floor, and as you exhale, drop the knees over to the right side. And then exhale, drop the knees over to the left side. A few rounds like this. Getting some gentle movement back into the lower back, into the hips, and back into the legs once again. Now hands behind you, coming into tabletop. As you exhale, lift the hips up. Inhale, lower. As you exhale, lift the hips up one more time, dropping the head back if this feels good. Just to get some movement into the spine and hips and legs one more time. And then straighten the legs out, give yourself a nice shake. Taking a moment to feel into the sensations. And then coming into deer pose on the left side. So bending both knees and swing that right leg back behind you while it's still bent. The left shin is parallel as much as you can to the front of the mat. Let's take a few deep breaths here, feeling into the sensations in the hips. If that left knee is popping up off the floor, you might want to place a block underneath or a rolled up towel underneath the hip. And as we exhale, let's slowly turn over to look over the left shoulder. So very gentle twist in this as we open up the hips as well. There's no need to push your way through this pose. Go gently as much as you can. It might feel nice to place a block underneath your left hand as well to raise the floor. So gently feeling into all of the sensations in the left side body, diagonally up the spine. If you'd like to take it deeper, you might like to place your right hand on the left thigh for balance. Inhale back to center one more time, and then let's release by twisting over to the opposite side, looking over to the right shoulder. Relaxing the belly as you do this. If you'd like to place a block underneath the right hand this time, that might feel comfortable too. And then placing the left hand on the right thigh for balance as you twist over to the right side. Deep belly breaths, relaxing the belly as much as you can. You might feel some compression within the belly and the digestive system as you do this, but this is a really good one to get some movement going through the digestive system. Deep belly breaths as you inhale and as you exhale. Now inhale back to center, removing the block away from you. Feeling into the sensations, those gentle twists have released. And then let's take it deeper if you'd like to go a little deeper. Walking the hands out in front of you, coming onto the elbows for a couple of breaths. And if it's available to you, you might like to come down all the way, forehead onto the floor, or forehead onto the arms, using them as a pillow. Keeping the hips level with each other as much as you can. Otherwise, placing a rolled up towel or a block underneath the hip that's not level to bring it level with the higher hip. Once again, deep belly breaths, releasing all of that stress from today. Welcoming in the sensation of relaxation with every inhale. If we've been sitting at a desk all day, this is a really good release for the hips. We are both internally and externally rotating the hips, getting some movement within the hip joint. So perhaps you might like to inhale deeply into where you might feel discomfort within the hips. And as you exhale, let it go. One more deep breath here. On the next inhale, coming onto the forearms. Now let's straighten that back leg out so that we come into swan from here. Coming into a deeper hip and glute stretch. Raising the arms out in front of you, or if you'd like to get a forearm stretch too, placing the palms on the upper shoulders. Releasing the shoulders and the arms, as well as getting into a deeper glute stretch. Deep belly breaths in, deep belly breaths out. Deep inhales into wherever you might feel physical tension within the shoulders, the hips, the thighs, and then exhale, release, and let it go. Releasing the arms, and then very slowly straightening them out over to the left side of the mat. So you're getting into a deep side torso stretch on the right side from your swan position, getting some lateral movement within the spine at the same time. The first few breaths in this pose might feel a little bit challenging, but just give yourself that time and space to ease into this pose. Using your breath to soften. Using your intention to soften the muscles around any of those tight, compressed areas. And then inhale, walking the arms back through to center. And then walking the arms over to the right side one more time. This time stretching out the left side torso. You might feel this a little bit deeper within that right hip flexor. Taking your time to ease into this pose. There's no need to rush. There's nowhere else you need to be. Inhale, walking the hands back to center one more time. And then coming back up to a seated position, swing that right leg around to the front. And very slowly releasing that left leg as well, shaking it out. A short windshield wiper one more time, soles of the feet on the floor, dropping the knees over to the right side, pressing the hip to the right diagonal side of the room. Exhaling, knees over to the left side, pressing the hips diagonally to the left side of the room. Just going slowly in your own time, releasing any tension within the hips and the glutes, the lower back. Getting some movement back into the body one more time. Now, deer pose on the opposite side. Bending both knees, right shin stays parallel to the front of the mat, and swinging that left leg behind you, taking a few moments to breathe into this pose, feeling into all of the sensations while you're here. If you used a block underneath your knee, the front knee on the other side, do that on this side as well. And then as you exhale, coming onto the forearms, forehead on the floor, if that's available to you now. Deepening into this deer pose, both knees are still bent. Relaxing the belly. Ensuring that both hips are level with each other, and if they're not, you might like to place a block either underneath the left hip or the right hip, depending on which one feels higher. Now deepening into swan, straighten that back leg all the way. And if you'd like to deepen this into the shoulders as well, placing the palms of your hands on the tops of your shoulders, bending at the elbows. Feeling the stretch in the triceps, feeling the stretch in the shoulders. And deepening into the left hip flexor. Allowing the body to lengthen, loosen. Allow time and gravity to do its thing, getting into the deep connective tissue layers of the body. Anytime your attention wanders away, bring it back to the breath. Releasing into the exhale. Surrendering to this moment with every exhale. breath here. Now very slowly releasing the arms, walking the hands back to center, and then straightening them very gently. Swing that left leg around to the front, straightening out that right leg. Some very gentle movements, shaking out the legs if that feels good to you. Bending the knees, soles of the feet on the floor, and then one more time, windshield wipers, releasing into the hips and the lower back. Taking as much time as you need in the windshield wipers. Dropping the knees over to the other side. Maybe a few deep breaths while you're here on each side. Now coming down all the way to the floor. Big deep inhales, big deep exhales. And just feeling into all of the sensations that the last few poses have opened up within the body. Where in the body do you feel a tingling? Where do you feel an openness? Now coming into happy baby, bending the knees, grabbing the outside edges of the feet. And now let's draw the soles of the feet together and pull the feet towards you as you draw the knees away from you. So it's a Supta Baddha Konasana while lying on your back, drawing the tailbone down towards the mat, feeling that long line in the spine on the floor. And then let's come into happy baby. As you continue to draw the tailbone down with bent knees, pull the feet towards you. If you have very tight hamstrings, you might like to grab behind the thighs and draw the thighs down towards the floor. But while you're here, feel the spine flatten against the mat. Keep drawing the feet and the knees and the tailbone down towards the floor. This should feel really nice through the spine, through the legs. Continue with your deep belly breaths. Soften into all of those tight sensations. Finding relaxation and ease in this pose. Noticing how even if there might be some discomfort present within the body, there is also a sense of ease. And notice how both discomfort and ease can coexist at the same time. Now on the next exhale, draw the right foot in towards the pelvis as you straighten that left leg out as much as you can. So we're getting deeper into a hamstring stretch on the left side. Continue to draw that tailbone down towards the mat. Releasing deeply into the hips on the left side and the hamstrings on the left side. Inhaling left leg in. Now releasing, and let's give our legs and our arms and hands a nice shake. Releasing any of that tension. Coming back into happy baby, bending both knees, grabbing the outside edges of your feet. And this time, draw that left heel in towards you as you straighten that left leg. So it's a half butterfly on the left leg as you straighten out that right leg. One side might feel quite different from the other, and that's perfectly natural. There's no need to fix or change wherever you're at. Simply noticing where the differences might lie between sides. Continue to inhale deeply from the belly and release all of that tension and all of that stress from your day as you exhale. With time and gravity, that right leg might start to move its way millimeter by millimeter slowly towards the floor. If it feels good to, you might like to place a block underneath that right leg. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, bending that right knee, coming back to Supta Baddha Konasana slowly, and then releasing the hands and legs and shake them out. Soles of the feet on the floor as wide as your mat, knees pressing against each other. And this time, let's do a windshield wiper while we're lying down, dropping the knees over to one side of the mat, and then dropping the knees over to the other side of the mat, releasing any tension in the lower back, in the hips, or the legs. Whatever movement your body might be calling out for. As you drop the knees over to the right side, this time, place that right foot on top of that left thigh, with both knees pointed towards the right side, and then look over the left shoulder. So this is a side body twist as we stretch out the left side torso as well as that left hip. You might like to place a block underneath that right thigh or a rolled up towel, whatever feels more comfortable for you today. So we're releasing into the left hips, all the way up the left side torso, diagonally up the spine as well. Relaxing the belly with every inhale, deepening into the relaxation with every exhale. Continue to deepen into these sensations, allowing the body to take you where it wants you to go today. There's no need to push or strive to go deeper into the pose. Simply allow time and gravity to do its work. Now slowly bringing both soles of the feet onto the floor, releasing that twist. Windshield wipers one more time, soles of the feet on the floor, dropping the knees from side to side. This time as you drop the knees over to the left side, place that left heel on top of the right thigh with both knees pointed towards the left side of the mat, and then look over the right shoulder. So this time we get that hip stretch down that right side, all the way up through the right side torso, diagonally all the way up the spine. The first few breaths might feel a little bit tight and tender. Simply allow the body, those first few breaths, to release into the pose. Be gentle with the breaths, and then deepen into them. Deep inhales, deep exhales through the belly. Very slowly bringing both knees back up to center. Placing both soles of the feet together, knees wide apart. Lying down in butterfly. And then opening out to Savasana. Any last few movements your body might be calling out for. Giving yourself this time and space to open up into all of the sensations of this beautiful, juicy practice. Allowing yourself to sink through the floor, to sink through deeper levels of consciousness, and opening out into a deeper sense of awareness, that ever unchanging presence that is always here. Once again, deep belly breath through the inhales and through the exhales, finding deep relaxation with every exhale. A moment of gratitude for taking this time for you, staying here for as long as you need. And if you'd like to continue with the Yoga Nidra for sleep, check out my other videos here, and I'll see you in the next one.